The Macros broadcasting system is experiencing brief technical difficulties. Please be patient.
Well, you guys, I just want to jump in here. Since we're waiting for all this, I just want you to know, and I think I can almost speak for all of us, we had no idea this show would bring us. So like 20, some 30 years later, we're all here. This is so cool. You guys rock.
Old people work on the show.
We went old and vintage.
So, what show are we all here for? That's not good enough. Come on, louder. Robotech, 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 Well, here we go. You know, my Robotech journey, besides running home in junior high to catch a show, it was at 4:30 on KTTV, Channel 11, right here in Los Angeles. I never saw a show that just knocked me on my butt. It was like, I remember my brother just said, "This is the show we've been waiting for." It finally had some substance to it. It was mature and adult, and it was just, it was just mind-blowing considering all the other fare that was on television at the time. I think it was Voltron, G.I. Joe, and it's like, oh, come on. All that stuff was like, oh, it's just childish. So Robotech was just jumped into my brain, and ever since, it's inspired me in certain things that I've done in my life. I think I joined the Marine Corps you know, as almost a direct result of Robotech, and I know a lot of military veterans feel the same way. But Robotech was a great show, and one time, about 10 years ago, my brother and I were just kind of kicking around ideas, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, why don't we do like a Robotech convention and we like find the actors and stuff, you know, just like those Star Trek conventions. Come on, it can't be that hard. So we went and put it together, and I have to give great credit to my clone, my counterpart over there, Dennis Bateman, who helped actually. Well, he had to do it because I was actually in South Carolina most of the time, and putting it all together, and it was an undertaking. You know, it started with a phone call to Carl Masick at Streamline Pictures at the time, and he's like, "Oh, sure, that sounds like a great idea. Well, let me get you in touch with one of the actors." I think it was probably you, Tony. And then from there it was, "Oh, I know another person," and then that person led to another person, and so on and so forth. And we had quite a gathering. Yeah, 10 years ago at the Grand Hotel. Who is there?
Right here!
I remember because running a convention is a very difficult thing, and the morning of the convention, my brother and I were at each other's throats. We were just the normal brothers thing, maximize by 10, and we were like in the elevator, ready to just fight. And then we opened up the door, and we saw these fans lined up. All right, people are here. And the cast was great. They showed up, the ones that I could get in touch with. And this time, I was able to get some who weren't there 10 years ago. And we're going to introduce them in a little bit. But that actually started my involvement with Harmony Gold. Actually, Alan West, my boss, was the vice president. He actually gave me permission to do RoboCon 10 with Harmony Gold's full blessing and support. And they were very pleased. So, and now I'm here 10 years later. I'm actually working for Harmony Gold, working on a show that really inspired me as a kid. So the first thing we want to do is introduce the series that made up Robotech. And let's start off with a little clip from the Macross saga.
As soon as the war's over, I'll take it back there personally.
What do you mean you'll take her back? I will.
Hold on. This is Scully. You're calling SDF-1. Over. He was annoying a young lady. I had to rescue her as well.
You rat.
So that's our civilian pilot. I wondered why you didn't want to fly his plane.
She looks like an old sourpuss to you. You're not as common as I thought you were, Rick.
Now listen, Commander Coker, you better have a good explanation for turning an airtech fighter over to an average You can be much of this, you know.
Yeah.
As for you, you're in a lot of trouble whether you know it or not.
This whole thing's your fault.
We gotta apologize to him if I were you. Women are rich and get off and leave.
Let's go over the approaching landing instructions. Give us a big number. You old sourpuss.
Roger. Bring your plane to Bay 504.
introduce members of the cast who are in that flip and in the Macross Saga. Let's me first introduce Melanie McQueen. The unforgettable work of Lisa Hayes, and I remember one time I think every guy looked at Lisa Hayes and said, "Oh, that was like the ultimate woman." I remember saying to my brother, "You know what? I'd listen to her read a phone book." Next to her is Tony Oliver, Rick Hunter. And then next we have the third member of the Love Triangle, Reba West, as Lynn. And two people that we did not have the Robo content, but I was able to track them down. Ironically, this next gentleman was actually a friend of someone in the company, and that's how we got in touch with him, which was it was an amazing thing. It was like, "Do you know Greg Finley?" And I was like, "Yes, it's Captain Global." It's like, "Well, he's a personal friend of mine." So he actually was our office, and it was quite amazing. So we had Greg Finley, Captain Global.
It was so obvious! A booty trap, of course!
And next is a lady I've had the great pleasure of actually seeing perform in one of her private theater shows. Very accomplished actress and veteran of voice acting as well, doing Storm on X-Men cartoon. Iona Morris. And at the far end, I have a gentleman who played one of the most menacing of the menacing character of the enemy characters in the Macross Saga, Mike Reynolds, who played Dolza.
You're going to straight kissing at once, or I'll crush you all.
And a lot of the challenges from the Macross Saga is actually a character that I grew to really, really dislike. And I think that's a testament to how just sneering you can make a character. And but Eddie Frierson, who played Lynn Kyle.
All of your military lies are making me sick.
I'm sorry, that wasn't the last person from Macross Saga. But this is a guy who's actually become a very good friend of mine recently. We've actually gone to a couple of conventions and we got to know each other. But I think that this character really was the big brother to not just Rick Hunter, but to everybody. He certainly was the hero, the mentor, big brother that we all wish we had. Dan Warren. Let's play a clip from the Southern Cross. Oh, I caught Steve as he was running all the way back. I hope people don't get too mad that I actually referred to. I hope people don't get too mad that I actually referred to Robotech Masters as the Jen Brady of Robotech because of that respect. Well, we love Southern Cross.
Those creatures, they call them bioroids, and
ring any bells?
They're familiar. Of course, the Bioroids. Now I remember.
Huh? Zor, what's the matter?
Music, tell me, why did they send me to work in the first place? Why am I so important to the Robotech Masters?
Huh? But Zor, didn't you know? You were their eyes and ears. You were sent to Earth as their spy.
A spy?
The Masters planted a neural sensor in your brain. You had no control over it, Zor.
Now the members of the cast that from Robotech Masters that I'd like to introduce. First is a guy who I always thought was a real wisecracker, just in animation, kind of that you actually wrote a wisecracker in real life. And that is Steve Kramer, who is also the script editor on Robotech. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Next to him, actually 2 people away from him, is a gentleman who I remember he showed up for the last day of the convention, but I had never met him before. Actually, my brother had never met him before, and we just saw him kind of standing in the hall and walked over. He looked and was like, "Well, you're a little old to be attending this thing," but it was. But once he spoke, the voice was just unmistakable. It was Paul St. Peter, Zor Prime.
Can't you see? I've lost my memory.
Once again, I catch Steve at the back of the room. Let's play a clip from the new generation.
It's in the window behind New Generation. Apple F.
You already will. Either way you lose, don't you see that?
Yeah, but I gotta go.
You're a big disappointment.
But I thought I was the man of your dreams, Amy.
Oh, I made a decision a long time ago. I'll never marry a soldier.
The kid's no dummy, that's for sure.
I'm coming too. The only thing I see is a woman with a slinky out.
We're on both counts, mister. I got something to show you.
What are you talking about?
She's doing what I think she's doing.
Hey, you stop that!
Well, she's right about one thing. She's not wearing no slinky outfit anymore. Now what's she doing? Listen, I don't know what you're trying to prove with all this, but it's not going to be any good. You hear me? You can stop this little game right now because we're not taking you with us, and that's final. Huh?
Oh, it's amazing! Yellow Dancer? You can start by calling me Lance. I think the name suits me a little better. Now then, my new friends, I hope there are no further objections to my tagging along with you.
They're at opposite ends of the table. The first gentleman I'd like to introduce is obviously the one whose world came crashing down at the end of that scene. Is Frank Catalano as Ram. And at the opposite end of the table is the unforgettable voice of the Regis, Alexander Kenworthy. unfortunately, her son, Greg Snegoff, couldn't make it to Robocon. He's actually in Italy on his boat, fixing it right now. But we certainly miss him. He was a great force on Robotech, past and future. And as are some of these other actors who have participated in the next Robotech. Well, I want to start off with, what have you guys been doing?
Tom, yes, somebody else could maybe.
Oh,
That's right.
I'm sorry. There are some people who noticed on our program that we actually were invited, and unfortunately due to scheduling and busy work as in the industry, weren't able to make it. We have Richard Eckhart, who we certainly miss.
That's right, buddy. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. All right, send my picture, buddy. It's all right.
You'll see more of Richard in Robotech later on. We're also another lady that we miss is Melora Hart. Unfortunately, she was wrapped up in work and couldn't make it. A number of other actors that were contacted, but unfortunately were not able to make it. Either they were out of town, but they certainly did express appreciation that people wanted to see them. Among them was Phoebe Merman, who played Maria, Cam Clark, who was really bummed that we actually scheduled this on a July 4th weekend, and someone that's escaping me right now. Barbara Goodson, who played Sierra, and Marie Crystal. And I know I'm forgetting someone, and I will definitely get back. To it. Michael McConaughey, who played General Emerson, who I remember canceled out last minute on Robocon 10, so maybe I'll get him on Robocon 25. I think we have we have a message from Mike McConaughey.
He sent his picture.
Richard and I couldn't make it, buddy. Sorry. We're very busy this weekend, right?
All those guys sound like Steve Kramer.
That's the magic of voice acting, man. And some of us sound just like Mike.
Well, I think one question that everyone has is, what have you guys been doing for the past 20 years? Can we just go down the line? Let's start with Alexandra.
Well, let's see, the last 20 years. I do a lot of on-camera work. I write, and I paint, and I live on a cliff overlooking the ocean, and I don't want to go away from there. And the rest of the time, I imitate Mike Reynolds.
I imitate everybody but Mike Reynolds. Let's see. Well, I have the honor of having killed Kevin Costner in a movie, and also if you think that is bad enough, I've also killed Ernie Borgnine. But for the last 20 years, I've been doing voice work here and there, and playing the piano. And that's it.
Well, for the last 20 years,
Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's much better. I don't know how you feel. God, I'm sorry for you. Oh, the first time.
Hi everyone. For the past 20 years, between things like Nevada Shakespeare Festival, many other animated projects such as this, and voicing training CDs for Lexus International and Bank of Halifax in Canada, etc. Quite the busy guy, and sadly not working as much with this whole cast of ne'er-do-wells as I would like to have done. But busy guy, and really glad they're all here today.
You are so fired. First I have to echo what Paul said. No, just so delighted that you guys are all here. First of all, thank you. I mean, really, this is so great. Thank you. For the last 20 years, a little gardening. I have been doing this. I've been very, very fortunate enough to have continued to utilize my voice and pay for it periodically. And I worked on a number of feature films. I was actually aboard for 2.5 months on a First Contact film, which was a great experience. Got to annoy you with some commercials over the years. If you ever went to Robinson's May, you might have heard the idea of getting there would be, it's the 15-hour sale at Robinson's May. It's been a good 20 years, and it continues, and I'm just delighted to be sitting here in front of all you smiling people and next to all these lovely folks. So, thanks again. Move on to the guy with the microphone.
For 20 years, I have been writing and directing and acting in this stuff. Plus, on camera, I've been doing a bunch of things. The last couple of years, I did a whole bunch of TV shows. You might have seen me on ER, or West Wing, or The Practice, or Malcolm in the Middle, or Gilmore Girls, or Gilmore Girls. Somebody saw me on that. Okay? So I'm still around. I have an Albert Brooks movie coming out sometime this year, which we shot about 6 months ago. And so I just want to tell this story about Mike Reynolds because he's going to be the target for today. So years ago, I'm doing this show, and it's half animation, half live action, and it's called Twilight of the Cockroaches. And somewhere in the middle of the show, this little animated cockroach crosses over this giant field between. Was that you? Oh my God, it was that. Yeah. I forgot about that. So this cockroach crosses over. It's a gigantic journey between one house and another, but to her, it's like an enormous trek across the world. About halfway across, she stops and she's lost, and you see all this garbage around, and there's a coil of waste. That's what I'm going to call it. A coil of waste. Sitting there, and all of a sudden, the waste starts talking to her. Now, I'm faced with having to cast somebody to play the talking waste. All right. Mike Reynolds, I only had 6 lines. Mike Reynolds comes in to do another part, and he finishes early. And I said, Mike, I got one other part. I hoping you could. He says, well, anything for you, Steve. Certainly, whatever. We all do next question. So I said to the engineer, just roll out of that scene. So we're sitting there, and Mike's looking at the scene. He says, I don't see what there's a new girl. All of a sudden, this thing starts. I said, oh my God! I said, Mike, I'm so sorry, but somebody has to do it. And he did it. He was wonderful. Well, about 6 months later, I had another show, and I auditioned for the part of the king. And he didn't get the part, but I brought him in for a different part, for a merchant, and he came in and he said, Steve, from a king to a merchant, this is the lowest. I said, no, remember you played that piece of shit for me about that?
Thanks a lot for sharing that.
Dignity, always with dignity, you know? Carry on our lives. Anyway, I've been doing this a long time. I'm in a new show called Naruto, which is going to be coming out. I'm because she's writing, but she sends her best to everybody.
Tom, thanks for that nice introduction, but there's one name you forgot to, just didn't mention, Claudia Grant. That's my So for the last 20 years, I lived in New York, and I was on a soap opera called As the World Turns for 4 years. And I did that, and I've been on Passions, General Hospital, I recurred on Moesha for 3 years, LAX, The Shield, Hill Street Blues. There's a lot of television stuff, and a lot of voiceover stuff. It's really cool. I've been writing and directing a lot of really cool theater. And I really want you guys to know that when we all did this, and I came in for this job, I was such a young little punk at that time. I didn't know anything about dubbing, looping, or what it was. I had no idea that 20 years ago we'd be here, and I just want you to know that if you have a dream about anything, it can come true. Just stick with it. Because look at us, we're still here.
I finally got invited to one of these things. There's a funny story about how I'm the only major character without a little figure doll. But we won't go into that. I remember when I walked in the audition and Bob Durham, God bless his soul, I said, Bob, so what do you want for this guy? He says, well, he's sort of European, so I said, well, do you want Russian, Scots, do you want Romanian, what do you want? He said, yeah, that'll be fine. And that's how, well, his voice was born some of it. Anyway, plenty of quick torpedoes, but I spent the last 23 years still married to the same gal. My two boys, Guy and Garrett, who are my stage name, my voiceover name in this is Guy and Garrett, are doing very, very well. I've done about 2,200 movies and TV shows. Where you don't notice my voice, but yet I'm known in Hollywood as the man of 1,000 voice. So, but it's been a great career. It kicked off. I honestly believe had it not been for Robotech, none of it would have happened because it was the greatest training ground in the world for what we do. And it's a great pleasure to see you all out here. Thank you for being here.
Totally clueless and we missed our cue. So I'm going to say my cue right now. Yes, I suppose those fans were the priceless. Okay, take it. Yes, I suppose those fans are the price one must pay for fame. And that's one big tuna.
This is how a professional acts. Pretty, isn't it? The last 20 years, I've raised a family. My daughter actually works across the street as Mickey Mouse at Disneyland. And also,
mostly my career started with Robotech, so thanks to you guys in this show, I actually had a career. So I want to thank you for that. I continued on doing more animating, more voices. I moved to the other side of the microphone and started writing and directing, and eventually left anime for a little while to go work for Saban Entertainment, where I helped create the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And most people hate me for that, but but that allowed me to learn how to produce and direct. So I started producing some various different shows, some of them anime, some of them not. And then I left Saban a few years back and jumped back into anime, where I've been directing and voicing. I'm back on a lot of different shows, like Last Exile. I played Lupin the Third. And Richard directs that, so we get to work together, so that's a lot of fun. Richard, the picture. And I've just finished directing a couple of series, one of them called Planet Test, which just got released. If you haven't seen it, it's really quite good. It's wonderful. It's got a lot of the same stuff that Robotech had without the flying robots, basically. And I'm just starting a new show called Eureka 7 as a director, so hopefully you'll be seeing that soon. So, but thank you, because of you, I have a career. I'm not a sourpuss.
I love you too. Okay, well, nobody bothered to give me any lines here, so you got a little cheat sheet. I didn't get anything. No, I didn't. How cute. I can call this out.
She's not clueless.
She still doesn't.
I don't know, cute. Well, for the past 20 years, I've been reading the phone book because that's what Tom Bateman enjoys. Also have been doing on camera, like Alexandra. I've been doing bit parts in TV and movies, like Doc Hollywood, Mouse Hunt, and Bobby the Vampire Slayer, The Chainsmoker was the best, yeah. I guess this voice convinces people that I smoke, and I never smoked in my life, but everybody thinks I do, so they always cast me as a chain smoker, which is very interesting. I've been writing and directing in local theater. I've written a couple of musicals that have been performed here in Los Angeles and off-Broadway in New York. And I'm working on a play right now called Curse of the Hollywood Zombies, because everybody has to do a play about zombies eventually. So, and having a wonderful marriage with my wonderful husband, who is here watching his wife do her strange thing, Mr. John Wesley, and just having a great 20 years, and I love getting back together with these guys because it's wonderful to see them, and sometimes it's hard to get us to pay attention to you because we're so busy going, oh, look who's here, oh, and up and down and hugging each other because it's always wonderful to see each other. So thank you so much for giving us a chance to get together.
Whoa. Hey! 20 plus years ago, I was just a fresh kid. I was a baseball player. Fresh out of UCLA, I spent summer roofing houses. And yeah. Yes. Anyway, and then I got asked to do Robotech and to play this jerk one time. And I haven't had a real job since. And over the last 20 years, I have had the pleasure of working with these people constantly, again and again and again. I was fortunate to be one of the founding company members with Paul St. Peter for Nevada Shakespeare in Las Vegas. I was fortunate to do some shows with Melanie and her husband John. Stand up, John.
Yeah,
Because when we were doing Robotech, most of us were just stuck in a room by ourselves. I didn't know these guys for several years. I just knew their voices. And now, we work together all the time, and I can't tell you that there is no greater group of people to work with, and that's why we work together again and again and again. It's just with F-Car and Steve Kramer just on Friday, because these guys are fun and they're good at what they do, and they show up on time and they knock it out, and you guys like it. So I've just been fortunate to do that, and I've also, the thing that I've been doing mostly over the last 20 years is a show that I did off Broadway called Maddie, an evening with Christy Matheson. If you guys go to the website, Maddie.org, I do it all over the country. I'm in Houston in 3 weeks, and I'll be in Oakland later this month, or later in November, and I'll be in Placentia right here in November as well. And it's just a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing that more than anything. But it all comes back to Robotech, and I've never roofed a house since. And it's great.
You guys for coming out today. It's great to see you and to see actually a lot of you again. I remember a lot of you from RoboCon 10. It was nice talking to you all. The last 20 years, when I first started Robotech, I had just arrived, I was in Los Angeles a few years, and I had gotten out of graduate school, and I actually went to graduate school in Hawaii, and which is another story. But I did get to do some anime there and a couple of live action shows, Ultra 7 and some other ones. So I had some familiarity, and I got this job with Robotech. And it was a great experience for me. It really honed my skills. I kind of got better at it as I went along. And it was a wonderful experience. After Robotech was over, I kind of got out of it for a while. I was at Warner Brothers for many years as a writer and a developer and that kind of a thing. And I was also in the last 20 years worked on a show which a lot of you probably know, NYPD Blue, which just ended, unfortunately. I did 12 years on that, and I did some other shows there as well. But I have done some anime. I did a series when Tony was, we did a whole bunch of those ones at Saban, but I did Digimon. I played Ken's dad on Digimon. Actually, I stuff like this. But I did that, and then since that time, I've really not done that much. More of my experience now is being more in the area of writing and development, and for script writing, things like that, feature development with Warner Brothers and other companies. And I teach college. I teach at USC. I teach acting, and I want acting students, and maybe, actually, I don't know if there's any of you guys out there today, but I do teach acting both camera and on camera. And the other thing that I did, I think, which is significant, which kind of started with Robotech, is I got married, and my kids grew up. I have one daughter that's an opera singer, actually, and a second one which has a TV series that she's a star of, which comes out on CBS and Nickelodeon called Just for Chicks. Not Just for Chicks, that's what I wish it was. Just for Kicks, which is about soccer. It's kind of like Sex and the City meets soccer. You know, something like that. Look at that. Anyway, it's a great show, and it comes out, I think, this fall. But I do want to appreciate all of you, and I hope to talk to a lot of you if we have a chance to make a break. Thank you.
In addition to the cast members who couldn't make it today, there's actually two people that I want to recognize who unfortunately are no longer with us, but who had a great role in the original Robotech. If we could put up the graphic of them. Two gentlemen, Arlen Ober, who is the composer of Robotech along with Upio Minucci. He was actually worked as Upio's orchestrator, but in the end ended up doing the majority of the music scoring for Robotech. So if you guys have the Robotech soundtrack on CD, you can thank Arlen Ober for contributing so much. I remember actually in the time when we were organizing RoboCon 10, actually driving up to his house up in Ojai and just talking with him about the Robotech music. I always really disliked that CD and LP that one company released. And I thought, gosh, I just missed so much of the music. So when he hands me a tape of his own personal tape of the Robotech soundtrack, and I'm just driving home just listening to it, like, oh, this is the most awesome thing. So he actually passed away in December of last year, and we will certainly miss him. We have a new composer for Robotech Shadow Chronicles named Scott Glasgow, who's done some marvelous stuff, and I think his score is certainly going to live up to the original Robotech score, and I think we're all going to be very happy with that. The other gentleman on this page is Bob Barron, who is one of the primary forces behind Robotech, and really helped was the grandfather to everybody, and really kind of set the tone. Just from I never had a chance to meet him, but from what everyone has said, it's just a remarkable man. He did the voice of Admiral Hayes in Robotech, and a number of other voices for other characters. But if you see him on live action, he had a habit of being asked to play Abraham Lincoln quite a bit. Yes, Phil and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Let me tell you a story about that.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when Bob was cast for Bill and Ted, he was involved in a cartoon series, and he told his agent to tell them that he'd be happy to do it, but that he needed to work for a couple of weeks before he would report for work. And they thought he was asking for more money, so they offered him more money. And he said, "That's great. Just tell him I want to do it, but I can't report for a couple of weeks." So they offered him more money. This went on. He made twice as much as he thought he was going to make, because he kept telling him, "I have to finish this series." I said, "I would do it." And Bob also left LA because the '94 earthquake, I think it was.
Yeah.
94 earthquake. He was living in Burbank, and the condo that he was living in had quite a bit of damage, and he was so freaked out by the damage that they got up out of the bed, got dressed, drove to Salinas where they had relatives, and never came back. They sent a moving crew down to take all the stuff out of the apartment and take them up there. Great guy, great guy.
Does anyone else have anything to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about Bob Barron, Bob Barron. I think Bob was one of the first people to ever cast me in anything long before we did Robotech, and he really guided me through the beginning processes when I was learning what to do and how to do. And I don't want to make the man into some sort of plaster saint, because he wasn't. I mean, he was a big flirt, smoked like a fiend, but was an adorable man and so supportive and helpful in so many people's career. And I love having him play my dad as Admiral Hayes. It seemed appropriate.
I wanted to say one little thing too. He was one of my favorite people. He was also an excellent writer, and he used to work on the TV show Bonanza as one of the writers. He was on the writing staff, and he wrote an episode that had a leprechaun in it that was very famous, and so he was wonderful.
Just want to be very briefly, that was, believe it or not, one of my favorite parts of doing Robotech was getting a casting call from Bob Barron. The phone would ring, I would say, "Hello? Paul St. Peter. Yes, Bob Barron here." That was one of my favorite memories of doing that show, because I knew there was work coming, but I loved to hear his voice, and he directed me sometimes, and he was just a gem, an absolute gem to be with. And God, yes, we all miss him a lot.
Let's all give a round of applause to Bob Barron and Paul Melvin. I was wondering if any of you guys have had the experience of people recognizing you by your voice, any humorous stories you have of people recognizing your character's voice, if anyone.
When I was at Warner Brothers, I had an office up there. Every once in a while, we'd get some kind of special thing we'd have to do, and you call down to Human Resources, and you go, I need a temporary employee, whatever, and they'd send them up for a couple of months. So this guy comes up, and I said, "Hey, how's it going? And he goes, "You're a man." Yeah. Well, I need you to do this Robotech. And that was it. So now, here I got this guy, and he would sit outside my office, and every time I looked at the crack, where the door is, I'd look at it, he'd be You did a good job.
I had a story about Mike Reynolds' voice. Another story about him. Because nobody recognizes my voice, so what am I going to talk about? We play poker sometimes. Some of the guys who work on this play poker together, and we were having a poker game at my house. And a lot of guys did Mike Reynolds' voice. It was too easy. It would be like doing, Bogart or something. It was too easy, so we could all do it. And we're sitting there playing a game where you had to pass some cards to the guy on your left, pass the track. So we're sitting there and we pass the cards, and this kid that's sitting to the right of Mike looks up at him and he says, "I'm the only guy at this table that hasn't made $100,000 off of your voice. You give me this crap." And it was true.
We were second day of shooting on the pilot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was very early in the morning. I was in line to get breakfast, if you get ready to bed. I'm standing behind this guy, a gentleman by the name of Paul Schreier, who played the part of Volk, who's quite a large gentleman. And we started to talk, and yeah, he's quite funny, he's quite good. He's actually doing comic books now, so. But we started to talk, and he kind of looks at me and quirks his head, and we talk a little more, and he looks at me again, and it sounds familiar. And we finally introduced somebody kind of, he's the producer here, it's Tony Oliver. Are you that Tony Oliver? Dude, that's cool, dude. A much bigger star, by the way.
My boyfriend, who's sitting in the front row, worked on Star Trek for like 11 years. And Star Trek has its own following. They've got their Trekkies and everything. Well, there's this one guy that worked on their set who found out that he knew Min-May. And so he had me call him up one day. And I think the guy just went nuts. And then, now he knows that he's with Min-May. So he's jealous.
I do have a real short story. I actually told this one at the 10th anniversary, but I'll tell it again. It was in context. It wasn't out and about, really. It was at an anime convention, but it was a very big anime convention like this one. I mean, many people besides Robotech represented. And I walked into the room, and I think I was Greg Snakeoff I was saying hello to. And I just said, "Hello there, Greg." And somebody turned around, "Oh, you're Reese Hayes." All I did was say, "Hello there, Greg." And also as my character, Lady Luck, which I do in Virginia and have done for the past 15 years, with my little tiara and my little wand. I represent the Virginia State Lottery. Anybody from that part of the country? Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, it's like my own little anime thing going on. And every so often when I'm out signing autographs, it's Lady Luck. If anybody got an autograph signed as Lady Luck accidentally, sorry. But so every so often somebody will plunk down a book, a Robotech book in front of me, just quietly without being able to Lady Luck took the sign his hands and okay, they'll sneak in.
I have a story about Richard Epcar because I don't have any stories of my own. But Richard Epcar, who isn't here, is a big, tall guy, big, strapping guy, and he's got, big head of hair and everything. And we both went to a Transformers convention in Fort Wayne about 4 or 5 years ago. We had both been working on that show. And we're just getting ready to leave, and we're just standing there talking, and we're waiting for the car to come to take us to the airport. And this guy comes up, and he's about half Richard's height. He comes up to his waist, and he looks up at Richard and goes, "You look like Superman in retirement." Best line I've heard in 20 years. Blood came out of the corner of my mouth where I bit my lip.
I had a rather long-running gig doing some voiceovers for Budweiser, and I finished the session, and there was a new director from the
in their, whatever it is, corporate office. And I finished the session and doing paperwork and saying goodbye, and you know, the audio director, everybody else, and he kept looking at me. And he looked at me. He said, "Your voice sounds so familiar." I said, "Well, I've been doing this for quite a long time." He said, No, something else. So up on the eyebrows, and I said, "Robotech?" He said, "Yeah, that's it. What did you do?" I said, "Well, I was Zora Prime." He says, "He was the coolest. Would you say a line for me?" I said, "Sure." And he gave it to me, and I reeled back and I said, "All right. Goodbye, Dana."
Please hold your blow.
So now let's open the floor to questions and for the panel. Come on, I know someone has a question.
Well, I was wondering this. At the time you were recording the voices for Robotech, did you know that you were making voices for something that was very different from the original source it was taken from? And how did you feel about that when you learned it? Were you surprised, or what was your reaction?
You know, when it comes, the cartoon's done, dubbing it. It was a job. It was a cool job. There was never thought that this was something, for me, that was new or fresh, but I loved animation. But this was just like a really cool job. And it was wonderful to see that every week we'd come back and it was a soap opera in animation, which I hadn't seen before. But never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that it was anything that would continue on 20 years later, or that it would have such a big hit on everyone. So that was quite exciting, and it did take me and I think all of us by surprise that happened.
I was a story editor. I wrote a bunch of them, I directed a bunch of them, acted in them. This is an ongoing argument, actually, within this community about how true do you stay to the original Japanese translation, because the translations tend to be a little bit hard to follow, and they're not written in an easy way for people to understand. Also, a lot of Japanese product, a lot of product from other countries, has references in it to their culture, things that they would understand that maybe an English-speaking audience wouldn't understand. And we've had this argument now for 20 years, and I suppose we'll have it for another 20. Some of the clients want the stuff to be just like Japanese, but in English. And there's another camp that feels that, yeah, you can stay true to the Japanese story, but don't use all these references that don't make any sense to an English-speaking audience. And maybe the most stark example of that was Princess Mononoke. When it came out, I was actually contacted about writing that, and when we talked about it, I told the producers, I said, you know, there's a lot of references here to wood sprites and magic that occurs in forests and things like that. And I said, I understand it on a certain level, but just from an English-speaking audience point of view, I don't think this is going to fly. And they said, well, this made a fortune in Japan. This is very brilliant stuff that was done. I said, yeah, but it still has to appeal to the audience. So they did it their way, and I don't think it did very well. As I recall, it didn't sell very well, and people didn't understand it. So when we were looking at this material that had come out of Japan, yes, we followed the storyline, basic storyline. We did adapt it, though. That's what this is called, adaptation, English adaptation. We adapted it for an English-speaking audience, and we put in references to things that we thought our audience would understand, and I guess they did, because here you are 20 years later saying, you know, this was a great show. I have to agree, I thought we did a great job. This was the first time that there was a cartoon like this that came out that really dealt with human events, human emotions and human events, in addition to all the bang bang, shoot 'em up in the Mecca and all that. You know, there was a human element to the story. I think that's why it's still popular 20 years later, frankly.
I think at the time when Robotech came out, when we were writing it, anime was fairly new in a way, because even though there were shows like Pin with a White Line and Speed Racer and all those things, it was pretty new, so people really didn't know how to deal with it, and I think that they wanted to write it, you know, to be entertaining. But I think the great thing about it was that Robotech was the catalyst of all the anime that you see now. And that's why you're here, that's why this convention is so huge. It's because it came from Robotech.
I also wanted to say that it wasn't that unusual, at least in Japanimation, when it first started being done. I won't even mention a couple of things I worked on where literally they had maybe a synopsis of what was happening, and then they would look at the picture and make up a story that seemed to go with what the visuals were on screen, because that was the best that had come to them from the original source. So who knows how, in those cases, how far off we were from what the original story was. That wasn't in Robotech's case, but in some things I worked on, that's all And I would ask, as an actress, I would turn around and say, why is my character doing, we don't know. We think maybe she's doing this. This is our best guess. So,
Actually, I worked on a few of those.
yeah.
One of the things I do want to say about this is that, I don't know how many people in the cast saw this, but early on when we were recording, Carl Masek, the producer, circulated a letter. He wrote a letter to some of us, or all of us. And he was talking about what it was that that he was attempting for us to do in this. And that it was different, and that it was special, and even though we might not understand what it was we're doing, just stick with it and give it our all, and it'll be something that will stand out and really be special and different, and the audience would embrace it. So, yeah, there were some things that were changed, but it really was Carl's vision, and he had a particular direction in mind, and he knew we were doing something, even though we didn't particularly know much more than this was a paying acting job, which are really hard to come by when you're starting out. So.
First of all, I just want to say thank you not only for being the start of more serious storytelling and animation that has built up what everyone is sitting here for, but also for being hitting a generation like me just at the right time when you're going to have to go, wow, that's cool, I want to be creative too, and then having your life go down that path because it's some of the stuff you and amongst other things that I can cite with saying, hey, this is what I want to be, what I want to do. So I want to say thank you. I'm trying not to alone and do it. That's going to really do this. The bit of cursory stuff that they've been able to dig out in regard to the production, it seemed like it was rather fluid and airy. I don't know exactly what you said, where there were jobs that would bleed over to others, and writers would end up as being voice actors, and it seemed like it just a lot of just mishmash of get through the day to get what you can get done type stuff. Would you guys, I realize a lot of these are voice actors up here, but could you comment a little bit how the process was going when it was first being recorded, directed, written, all mixed in together?
All I remember is I was so tired. This thing took a year to do. It was 85 episodes. We worked, I worked 7 days a week, about 15 hours a day, because I was wearing so many hats. At the time we were doing it, it's so long ago, it's hard to remember all the details of it, but it was a little bit fluid. But what happens in this business is that a lot of people start out as actors, and if they have the interest and the chops for it, they might give them an opportunity to write. And if they are any good as writers, they might give them the opportunity to direct. I actually think that if you've been an actor in this field, it's easier to direct because you understand what the actor's going through, you understand what they're facing. I think it's better to be an actor, to be a writer in this field, because you understand pacing a little better. It's a very technical kind of thing, but there was a lot of overlap back then with certain people. I mean, certain of us were doing a little of everything. Some people just came in and acted, and that was fine. But if they had the interest and they thought they had the talent, we certainly gave them an opportunity to write too, if they wanted to. And we tried out people. This is a difficult thing to write, this stuff that's previously animated. If you want to write it carefully, because there's speech dynamics involved. The mouths move, and they open and close. And in the English language, I think I've said this at other conventions, in the English language, there's only 3 letters in the English alphabet where your lips touch. If you think about it, that's B, M, and P. Those are called labials or bilabials. And there's only 2 letters in the English alphabet where your lower lip hits your teeth. F and V. Those are called fricatives. All sounds dirty to me, but those are what you're left with. And when you see those animated mouths moving, if you don't try and get an M, B, or P sound when the lips hit, it's going to look wrong to you. You may not understand it. Certainly you won't understand it as well as we will, because this is what we have to do for a living. But when you're looking at it, it looks off somehow. You're saying to yourself, oh, this doesn't look right. It's out of sync or something. You drop this contact. The diagonal. Anyway, so that's the difficulty of having to write this kind of stuff. So not everybody has the talent for it. When we found somebody that did, we certainly asked them to take on the assignment. That's how much fluidity there was in the work.
I know that you guys talk about how the kind of work you've done, like, you know, since Robotech. I know a lot of you guys started out in Robotech. I was just wondering if there was any kind of work that you guys done possibly previous, because I remember seeing a live action film a long time ago about women in mud wrestling. And
most of us used to do that.
I do remember someone in that film, and I think it was you.
Did you like my Playboy Bunny outfit?
I thought it was great.
How do you think she got the part of anything?
So I was wondering if you guys did anything prior to it that got you into Robotech.
That was actually after Robotech.
Oh,
Yeah, so we did a lot of animation before, but it just didn't go anywhere. And we didn't know where it went. We didn't care. It was just like, okay, we're gonna get paid. It was going off somewhere into the hinterlands. And Robotech was the first thing that I actually something happened with it. And it was really surprising. It was very, very surprising. But all of us have theater backgrounds, movie backgrounds, you know, all of that stuff. And that's what we did pretty much during and before.
Everybody did a lot of dubbing. I think almost everybody here did other dubbing and other films and other animation. I did a series called Gigi, one before where I played some little, I was a Southern Belle Canary in that one,
And I thought that you, and then I was in.
Who knows where that ended up, and of course, the comic book films, we all spent time in the studio, Matt, okay, you take the drill and blue, I'll take the drill and red, and
Give me the devil ninja star in the throat.
Exactly. So we all did all of that.
I did a series in Hawaii one time. It was called Hachibi the Orphan Bumblebee. 66 episodes. And I played this little bee. Okay? And Tony, we did Honeybee Hutch. Same series. It was the same exact series, and in that show, I played the evil drone. I didn't even play the same part. So a lot of stories things, and they kind of channel them around. And I did a thing called Mazinga Z, I think it was called. Where some kid was, I did that. I played the kid in that. Lots and lots of different things that we did before Robotech, which kind of made us available to kind of do that kind of thing. And one thing I wanted to say is, Steve, and we spent many hours in the studio. A lot of times we would get literal translations, and I remember it wasn't necessarily in Robotech. It would be like a line like, "Watch out, beaches many popes." We had to rewrite that. In the studio, beat you too many popes would fit, but it wouldn't make any sense to our audience. And somebody like Mike or Steve or somebody would have to go, wait a minute, we got to rewrite this sucker. And we would do it right in the studio and make it work so that it was believable to the audience, but also something that looked right. And Steve and Greg, who's not here today, were sharp as far as hitting the sync and everything. They wouldn't cut us any slack. It had to be just right.
No, we were very, very tough about that. When you have a line, how dare you kill me in such an impertinent manner? You gotta fly? So we changed it to good morning.
Okay, we're going to mix in a little bit of trivia. So this is a chance to win a Macross Complete Collection DVD box set signed by the cast. But we're going to do this Hollywood Square style. So this, Melanie, you're going to have to help him out on here, okay?
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
What song, okay, no help in the audience, please. What song did Lisa sing in the bar when she was getting drunk after discovering that Nene was staying at Rick's house? Was it My Time to Be a Star, To Be in Love, or The Man in My Life?
My Time to Be a Star.
Do you agree or disagree? Do you agree or disagree? That is correct. Alright, next question.
I sang it drunkenly, didn't I? Get over it.
This may be an out-of-topic question, but somewhat close.
Hold your mic up, baby.
You know, like Macross and Robotech, they're like almost the same thing, but like different stories and stuff. I was wondering if there was like ever a 25th anniversary you would like do the original movie in English, since like I have it in Japanese. I don't like. I have subtitles and I don't like to watch it all the time.
Well, the original 3 episodes, I'm not sure about the original movie, the original 3 episodes of Robotech was done as Macross first. And that was the pilot that led to Robotech. So it actually does exist somewhere out there in the video world where Rick is not Rick Country, he's Hiraku Yamada and all that. So, but it's done in English.
But we'd all love to dub it again.
Oh yes.
I think he's talking about Macross Gear Member Love. That's what you're talking about.
Talk to Harmony Gold about that one.
Well, take more than this from the gold, but that's something that I think everyone would like to see. So we'll do it. Let me see, another quick chance to win a prize. This will be a new generation box set, DVD. And Alexandra, I'm going to need your help on this. Okay, what command did the Regis say when she wanted her enemies vanquished? Was it destroy them, annihilate them, or eliminate them?
Eliminate all resistance.
You agree or disagree? All right, you win. Actually, we have to wrap up, so I just kind of want to do this some quick trivia. Okay, but this time I need Steve Kramer's help. Okay? What movie did Dana force Angelo to escort her to?
Revenge of the Venusian Dogwomen.
Do you agree or disagree?
Revenge of the Martian Mystery Women.
Alright, let's go with a quick another. Okay, Mike Reynolds. You played Golda in the original series, but you also played Snake Eyes, the leader of the Red Snakes gang in the new generation. Now, I'm sure you remember that vividly. When Herb Bartley went back to her hometown and challenged the leader of the Red Snakes, what did she challenge him to? Was it Russian roulette, a chicken race, or a fist fight?
A chicken race.
You agree?
I will agree.
All right, you win. He wins a Southern Cross DVD box set. Right. Okay. Paul. Okay. What were the names of Musica's two sisters? Were they Minerva and Antonia, Octavia and Allegra, Astarte and Livia?
The chicken race. That would
will be Octavia and Allegra.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree, Joe.
All right, and you in a polo shirt. All right, I'm gonna go get polo shirts around Robotech.com. Okay, unfortunately, we have to. Are we out of time? Or are we out? No, seriously, are we out of time? Okay. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I really want to thank the cast for coming out again. There is the Yellow Dancer concert tonight. Michael Bradley, who is busy rehearsing right now, but the concert is over at the Coast Anaheim Hotel at 8 p.m. and it is just going to be awesome. So, okay. Right, we still have tickets to the private banquet with the actors. We have very limited spacing, so if you want to attend that, it's $25. Right outside the door. So we have limited space available. Thank you very much.